In this video, I'm going to talk to you what are the steps required in order to achieve FIRE. I kind of wish I did this at an early stage of my journey, on the FIRE journey. Kind of wish I did that when I started this whole entire process. However, I'm just going to go through what I've experienced and what I've learned so far. So what I learned in terms of this is find a way. Number one is to lower your expenses. So to do that, there's only a few things that you can do. Number one would be figuring out how much is your typically week in, week out expenses. If you can cut it down, by all means, cut it down. For example, if you have multiple TV subscription, maybe just choose one. You don't need the whole 2 or 3 different subscription or so. If you're eating out in a regular basis, but it might be hard to just go straight cut, maybe just reduce it to maybe once a week or so, or once a month, or once at a special occasion. So that's one way looking at the things. Another one would be look a way for you to boost your income. There's only so much expenses that you can cut in your lifestyle until a certain point where you're just pretty much on the very minimum essential. However, there's no ceiling on how much income you can earn. Now, I didn't understand this because I'm used to this, week in, week out, getting a paycheck once a week, once a fortnight in a cycle. I thought my income was based on my job and that's it. But if you have a supplementary income, then you'll be amazed how much money you can earn from that supplementary income, all depending on, I guess, if you put a lot of energy into that. Give you an example, myself alone, I've started my laundry home business, where I do pick up, drop off, wash, dry, and fold type of services. And I'm actually enjoying that instead of working in the office. We do that on the weekend or so. And yeah, I found it relaxing because it's not really stressful in that aspect of it. But each to their own. We used to do eBay. Maybe even if you drive for ride sharing app, or whatever it is that you can think of to earn an income. There's no limitation how much money you can earn, but there's a limitation how much expenses you can cut. That's what I learned. Look ways to boost your income in any way possible. Next one will be make saving and investing is a priority. For us, when we started our journey, we started just with 5 cents, 10 cents, $5, $20, whatever spare change that we have. So what we used to do is, let's say we're earning in a fortnight, we have our expenses budgeted out, and then whatever left over in that fortnight, that goes into investing. Maybe switch it the other way around, as in put the investment side first and then figure out your expenses accordingly after your investment. You can go as little as $5. My kid's doing it with a couple of coins here and there. So, and then after that, figuring out also if you are in debt, figuring out how to get out of debt, because to me, it doesn't make any sense when you're trying to earn an income, but at the same time, you're paying interest somewhere else. Especially credit card debt. That is probably one of the biggest killer, because credit card debt is charging you roughly about 20% per year. Average return on the market that I've seen is on the portfolio that I'm holding anyway, between 10 to 15%, if that. But I had never seen it 20% increase more than the credit card that you're actually paying. So that's and then work out your numbers. The other one is For me, I'm just going to write a number that is somewhat simplified first of all, before I get to the itsy bitsy numbers of it. So as an example would be calculate my annual expenses. So we're looking at, let's say, $1,000 per week. If it's $1,000 per week instead of 52 weeks, I'm just going to round it down to 50 weeks. So I need about $50,000 or so per year per person, in order to breathe, in order to survive in day-to-day basis or so. And then you apply that 50,000 times it by about 25, that would generate how much money you should have in your investment account. In my instance, I will require roughly $1.25 million or so in our investment account. So from there, we're looking at using the 4% rule, which is taking out 4% every year. And hopefully with that mechanism, I would not be able to run out of money. Factoring also, understand that everything is going to go up in price, and because of inflation. So your fire number, my number, would bound to be different by the time I hit the 1.25 mil. So pretty much when you started, it's probably overwhelming getting to know the fact that, hey, you need this amount of money in order for you to live. That's just reality of it. I was a bit shocked that I'm like, wow, how am I going to achieve this amount of money? So for me, it's just, where do you start? Have the end goal in mind and then go towards it. If you reduce your expenses a lot lower, then that means you don't need the bigger amount. That maybe, like, say, if you can live for half that, then that would mean I only need half of my money invested or so. So it all prospectively a little bit different. Some people that I know of, they do geo arbitrage, where they live in Southeast Asia but having the account balance of Western world. So that might be another option. For us, unfortunately, we have our kids. I want them to go to school in this country. I want them to have the education of this country. That's why we're staying put in here. So everyone have different way of thinking or doing things. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and I will see you on the next video.